Hi, I'm MrByZ, and today I'm going to do a little retrospective looking back at the ATST, all the way back from the one that came out from Empire Strikes Back up until what we've gotten with The Mandalorian in this last year. So let's go ahead and take a look. So we start off here with the vintage ATST. I know I got this in 1983 or 1984. What's the date on? 82. Okay, I didn't think it was immediately in 1980 with Empire Strikes Back. Now, of course, this was based on the ATST that we see in very briefly in the Battle of Hoth. I'll take my driver away here for a second. And, you know, it was kind of a cool little thing. As far as how it was released, you know, this is for a quick, like, you see it for 5 seconds type of vehicle. We got this full vehicle for it. It does have a couple cool features, like you can unlock from the back, and then see if my vintage one wants to work right here. It's been a little while since I've done it. But you can press this button right here and make the legs move, which was kind of cool. Now, if you didn't want to do that, because as you can see, the legs are kind of uneven when you do that, you can take this guy right here. It's a little locking mechanism and lock it like that. And now you can set it down. Now, over time, as you can see, these, they kind of, I don't want to say wilt necessarily, but that's about the closest I can think of. They start to kind of droop a little bit more over time. It's got a couple other little things here. So we have right here, this is a mechanism. And I don't know, maybe some people know more about this than I do. Let me get the camera stable. You know, you could put it in here as well. And I never did this, and so I'm going to actually play with it. It obviously now makes it, like, almost want to fall over. Let me see if what that does to the walking. If it changes anything. I'm not seeing any real change in it when I do that. I don't know. If you know of something more of what that, why it has that extra little moving area or something. Lord knows I didn't look at the instructions when these came out. But you can let me know there. So, ooh, something's definitely, oh, I know. Oh, I got it walking. It doesn't want to sit, stand right, and then you need to put it walking. Now, I'm missing a few stickers. This is my original ATST from when I was a kid. We have cannons on both sides. This is not accurate at all to Return of the Jedi. The ATST in Return of the Jedi does look different from the ones in Empire Strikes Back. This is probably the most accurate to the one in Empire Strikes Back. But, you know, as to all the differences, we're going to see a little bit. But we didn't see the one in Empire all that up close, so it's hard to say. It has a cannon here in the front that'll swivel up and down. We have the side cannons here, and we have a little mini gun, I guess, on the top. You can flip open the top hatch, which is, to me, this shows that they knew something about it as far as what was coming. Maybe by the time they put this out, they knew they were doing the ones in Return of the Jedi. I wanted to get a kick on that. But you can see there's a sticker in there, and then you can open the whole hatch. It's got room for one driver inside. It does have, I still have my original stickers in there, which is cool. Doesn't have anything, like, for lack of a better term, on the eyes. There are stickers for those eyes. Obviously, mine came off a long time ago, but nothing opens up at all right there. Detailing is pretty cool. As with a lot of these vintage vehicles, it's kind of cool to see all the detailing that goes into it. You can see all the different kind of moving parts and everything. These stand up pretty well over time. You get even detailing on the underside. It's a pretty cool little vehicle, especially for such a quick thing. Now, what we're going to see next is for the modern Hasbro line, they adapted this mold going forward and used it. So we're not going to spend a whole lot of time with it. But before I move on, you're going to notice I have some figures in some of these. Those figures are probably going to stay in a lot of these as I go through them. Some of them are actually hot glued in because it just made it easier for my diorama displays and everything. And I'd really rather not have to redo that. So bear with me as we go through that. So the first version we got for Power of the Force 2 is this guy right here. You can already see, well, we still have this little sticker on here, which is on the original. We have more detailing on the front, more paint apps and everything. It even has like brownish look on the legs, as if it's more of the Endor ATST. It's the same, everything works exactly the same. Still has the same mechanism. We just have new stickers, same mold. In fact, some of these vehicles, curious to take a look. No, this is 1995. They did change the date on the bottom of it. So, but everything is exactly the same. It just has new paint and some new stickers, and that's basically it. Other than that, it's the same vehicle, which you're going to see a lot of that. And so, as you can see, it's a darker gray, and then it just has the extra paint apps and everything. So that's it. I think something like this was on the original vintage as well, but you can see there's a stand and walk label as far as where you turn the little thing on the back as well. So next one comes from 2002. This was a Toys R Us exclusive. It came in a window box, and it came with Paplu on a speeder bike. I'm not worried about the speeder bikes right now, but you can see those front eyes, if you will. They're pretty similar. We'll pull the other one up here a little bit. You can see some of the changes. The paint apps are definitely different. So this has got a big broad mark across the front. I don't know if that's supposed to be like the one that Chewie drives, whereas this one's got the lines. And we've gone from brown feet to more green feet with some more paint deco to it. Stickers seem to be mostly the same. When you look at them, you can see it's got a lot of the same stickers. I don't think I touched on the back here just to get a little things. And you see the stand and walk sticker is a little different right there. And the interior here looks close to the same again. Mine has some issues. It doesn't like to walk. I used to have this one always stomping on an Ewok to stand upright. In 2007, we get this version, which was what they called an Ultimate Battle Pack. It was a Target exclusive. It came with a whole mess of figures, some Ewoks, a Han, and it even came with a couple of logs and a speeder bike. And you can see the feet are much more muddy brown than that original Power of the Force one here, with a lot more detail to it. We've got a lot more detail going in here. That black mark across the front is a lot more like the one that Chewbacca goes in. Even, for lack of a better term, what we've been using, the eyes are looking a little different. In fact, that feels painted and not stickers. In fact, I'm not seeing that there are any stickers. Usually we get a sticker like right here, and that is not here. I can actually pull this ATST driver out. There's also no sticker on the hatch now, which has always been here. But you can see now there's a little bit of paint app on the inside, plus stickers going on in there. Again, everything else is the same. We don't have a stand or walk sticker on the back. It came right out of the package just like this. There was, you didn't have to put any stickers. You can even see, if you look closely, it almost looks like a modeled wash or something they put there in the front. There's even a little bit of paint on the gun. So they did extra paint on this. But still, it's exact same mold going on here. In 2007, there was a second Ultimate Battle Pack from Target. It was a Hoth set, and it came with a turret and a whole bunch of figures, like some snowtroopers and that sort of thing. And this much more white ATST, you can see how much whiter it is than the rest right here. Again, it's got a lot of paint apps on it. You can see even the guns have white on them, more gray, and this is all painted in here. All sorts of different paint apps going on here. Nothing, no sticker on the hatch. A little bit of paint app on the inside, plus the stickers. You can actually see how they sprayed right there. They obviously sprayed after that was put on. Again, no sticker on the back. Still the exact same mold. Now, this is, as far as I'm concerned, this is the last ATST of this version put out, because not too long later, they're going to put out a much bigger ATST. In 2009, we get a more correctly scaled and more correctly decoed ATST for Return of the Jedi on Endor. Now, as you can see, mine has a lot going on here, and I'm not going to be removing the figures from here because a couple of those guys are glued in. It did come with an ATST driver, although I got to say it wasn't actually one of these two here. I added them later on. Didn't come with those Ewoks either. But I had a little fun with this one. But you can see there's a lot of things all of a sudden gone. We have a more correctly detailed, I think it's called a grenade launcher here on the side, rather than the gun that we'd had over there previously. No longer do we have walking legs. We have a much more accurately detailed kind of back to this thing. The legs extend quite a bit. I'm not going to extend them fully out because I have this in a position where I want it. Because one of the problems with these is they don't like to stand well. In fact, some people have talked about them falling off their shelves and breaking. I found that if you try to do a walking position like this, it does help. But honestly, once you get it into a good position where it stands, you keep it there. You can see I actually have them all standing back here. But we have a railing at the top. And while I have a dude in here, you can see there are now 2 seats. You can actually fit 2 ATST drivers in there. We'll look at another one here in a little bit that shows a little bit more on that. These eyes, as we've called them before, now open. It's hard to open with this guy falling out. But even the toes are actually more accurate to what we saw in Return of the Jedi. All in all, this is more of the Return of the Jedi ATST. Like I said, it is a lot bigger. It's got a lot more detailing. We still have a hatch on the top, but you notice no gun on the top anymore, which makes me wonder, just thinking about this, were there guns on the top in Return of the Jedi? I'd have to probably say no, as it's not on this one, but the gun on this side is now more accurate as well. Everything on this is so much more accurate. Now, at the time, Hasbro was playing around with the idea of toys like for collectors like me or for kids. You can actually pop this gun off and put a more play gun on the bottom that shoots missiles at it. Now, so you get the more accurately decoed one and the play value one all with this. So we're going to take a look at this mold as it went through a few times. We'll be able to look a little bit more at it as mine's a little too busy on this. In 2010, we got a repaint of this big ATST already. It was in a Target pack called Attack on Hoth. It was like a big Target pack. It came with a couple extra figures. Target used to do these things. It's been 10 years since we've seen stuff like that. But here I can actually show you some of the more features on this. Again, it's the same mold, but now you can see we can open... maybe. You can open these eyes up, and you can see there's actually detail on the inside with that, and you can open them that far. Obviously, your cannon moves. This one also came with the fun missile firing cannon as well. You can open the top hatch here, or you can open up the whole thing, and here you can actually see the detailing on the inside much better than I could show you on the other one. And you can see we actually have 2 full seats. Turn this around. Look at what we've got in here for the control panels and everything. Really, really well done. Kind of just get a look at all that. But again, it's like all white with a little bit of gray mixed in for like battle damage or something. Is it supposed to be Hoth? And of course, this one is actually more accurate than this for Hoth. So... and I would imagine the Hoth troopers would drive with that open, with that closed right there. But so you can see we just continue that tradition of let's do a white one for Hoth. In 2014, we get another version. This time, kind of the special thing is it came in a vintage box. At the time, we were getting a lot of vehicles either repacked or slightly retooled in vintage boxes. This was a K-Mart exclusive. You can see it actually has this mark on the front that's very similar to the one that Chewbacca was going around. You can see I actually have a Chewbacca in mine here. On Endor, we have much more muddy brown feet, more like the original Power of the Force 2 version, or one of the Target Battle Pack versions there. You can see the eyes fully open now, if you will, to see how that looks. If I look on the inside, I can actually open this up. You can see how they did the detailing on this. And they actually released this one twice, technically, as they did a giant Black Series battle pack. I think it was Toys R Us exclusive. Oh, no, it's going to fall. They did, it was virtually the same one. And so I never bought that one, so I'm not going to show that one. I'm going to extend out the legs, though, so you can see how far here you can see how far you can extend those legs. Everything is movable. Right here at the ankle, that's movable, as well as just above the ankle. These are usually the joints that end up breaking or causing problems when these fall over. You can see I've got a little hot glue stuck on mine here. And then we've got kind of a knee joint here that goes back and forth. And I guess you'd call this hip joint. But then you also have this whole thing can come out, and you can do like that. I don't know if we ever saw ATSTs use that much motion. Most of the time, I have mine just tucked in like that. And I just think it looks a lot better. Tucked in like that? Yeah. Basically. And it just looks a little more accurate. You can see how far that leg just sticks out. A little crazy on the amount of motion. Here we can actually see with the underside too. I don't think I've shown that yet. Just messing around here, I actually, when I went to go put this back, I'd had glue on it, as you saw. That was actually to keep some of the joints in place. I extended out the legs. It actually looks pretty good. It's like more like a walking position, maybe you'd say. It stands a bit taller than the other ones, as you can see when you do that, though. In 2017, we got a Black Series version from Walmart once again. So we're seeing ATSTs either from Walmart or Target, it seems, for the most part. We have a slightly new deco on this. It's closer to the original Walmart exclusive. It did come with a driver. It actually came with this driver. And if you're like me, Walmart did sell these like really cheap for a little while. I remember seeing them at Walmart. I think they were like $50 or maybe even more than that. And I didn't buy one because I had plenty. And I think I found this at Ross for $10. I was like, well, $10, I'll buy it. I'm not worried about figures right now. You can see how the deco is. I do have the legs configured a little differently. You can see how the shoulder joint, if you will, or hip joint is up a little bit more. If we look at the inside, very similar deco. Not a whole lot has changed here. It's just usually minor variation in paint apps more than anything is what we're getting, and maybe some stickers there. By the way, from the vintage version on, we no longer were getting the extra pieces here for fun play. We just got the more accurately detailed ones. Finally, we have the Mandalorian version, which came out in 2019. It did come in a vintage box. It was a Best Buy exclusive. And here again, we have all sorts of changes to the paint, although this is based on the one we saw in the Mandalorian, of course. I have done a full review on this already on my channel. You can check that out. But you can see it actually has cloth pieces attached to it and everything. It's interesting they decided to make this vehicle, considering it doesn't... I mean, it plays a kind of cool role within the episode it's in, but you know, not that big a deal as far as the show in general. I'm just thinking it was just an easy thing for them to put out quickly for the show based on prior molds, which makes me wonder why we still haven't gotten speeder bikes. But the interior, you can see there's a lot more paint wash on it, because it's supposed to be this more older version and everything. Stickers on the inside are much different as well now. None of these stickers I had to apply. They all came in it. And it did come with a Clatuinian figure, which I'm not going to worry about showing right now. But this was the Best Buy Mandalorian version. Here you can see those cloth pieces on the back to see what all that looks like. A little netting here. I wonder if it's the same net that they used for 3PO. I'm just kind of curious if they just reused that. But, you know, it's still the same thing. Still the same mold and everything. And as of 2020 in June, that is all the ATSTs that we have got. So looking back at our ATSTs, did I miss anything on these? Is there a version I missed? Go ahead and let me know in the comments. It's okay. Is there a feature that I missed that I should have talked about? Bring it up. That's totally cool. I hope you enjoyed this look at the ATSTs. As you can see there, what I've got here are 10 total different ones. The only one that you might say I don't have is that, was it a Black Series multi-pack Toys R Us version, which is still, I think, very too similar to this vintage version for me to even worry about. But those are our ATSTs. Hope you enjoyed.